All right, welcome everyone to CASA graduation. My name is Kayla Escobedo. I'm one of the trainers here at CASA of Los Angeles. And welcome everyone. This is the exciting day that we've all been waiting for, as today you are going from CASA trainees to official court-appointed special advocates. I also want to welcome all of the friends and family that are joining via the live stream on our YouTube channel. On the agenda for today, we have first the swearing-in ceremony with the Honorable Judge Seidler, and then you'll have an opportunity to hear from some of the other departments in the organization, and then toward the end, you'll have some time to meet with your advocate supervisor. Before we get started, just some tech housekeeping. If you're having any issues within the Zoom, feel free to private message Taina, and she can help you out. She will also put her contact information into the chat. Make sure to write it down, because if you get kicked out and you're having trouble getting back in, you have her contact information to reach out to her in case that happens. And then, as usual, as you've been doing during training, just make sure that you stay on mute while you're not speaking, just to reduce the amount of background noise. When you're swearing in, or when you've been called on, you can feel free to unmute yourself, but then make sure to remute yourself once you're finished speaking. So the first thing that we're going to start with is the swearing-in ceremony with the Honorable Judge Seidler. So Judge Seidler, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations on getting through the training. I want to thank all of you so much for the commitment you're making. If you have family and friends logged in or who are going to be watching this on replay, I hope they understand the commitment you're taking and making, and understand every so often there will be an evening or a weekend where you say you're not available because you're going to meet your CASA kid, or you're going to meet with a school teacher, and what it is that you're doing. So while I have you, before the swearing in, anyone have any questions, or now that you have like last chance with a judge before you're a CASA and can't do this, questions or observations from the class, either one that you want to share? Last time I made us have two self-appointed sudden speakers for each class, one speaker for each class, but no questions? How was the training? Yes, Jennifer.
So I have an opportunity to ask you any question. I'm curious, what is most gratifying and meaningful to you about the work you do? And then the second question, if I may, what keeps you up at night?
So this is a system that is about children and their families. When I started as a lawyer in this system 31 years ago, it was the Department of Children's Services, and now it's the Department of Children and Family Services, and really trying to emphasize that that's what it's about. So the things that are most gratifying for me are having a parent who actually is able to make the changes they need to safely care for their child, and to be able to close a case home of parent. And the ones that are most gratifying is where the parent actually says, I just want to thank all of you for having had us in the system and for everything that we've gotten from all of this. The other one that's really gratifying is kids who make it no matter what. I once had a foster kid in my court who was living with his grandpa, and before the case started, the attorney said, Your Honor, just want to give you a heads up, the grandfather's like really close to kicking this kid out. He's not following rules. So they come in and I said, Grandpa, what's going on? What's going on? He said, well, he's not following my rules. He's supposed to be home by 10 o'clock and he comes home late. And so I turn to the kid, I say, well, what's this about? And the kid says, well, one, don't have a computer at home, so I have to do my homework at friends' houses. And so I'm late because of that. And also basketball practice. This kid had like a 3.9 GPA and was going to be going to Brown. And it was just so wonderful that the grandpa just didn't like totally understand what he had on his hands, but that you had a kid who could make it against all odds. So, and then CASA cases can be very gratifying for me to see the difference CASAs make in kids' lives. And I'll tell one story about that in a couple of minutes. The things that keep me up at night are, a lot doesn't keep me up at night because I work really hard to separate at the end of the day. But every so often, if I make the difficult decision of sending a child home against the social worker's recommendations, where legally I think it's appropriate, but it's still a shaky situation, those are the ones that can worry me. And then the story about what CASAs do, we have CASAs, you can be involved in any range of things, whether it's education issues, medical needs of kids, making sure they have the appropriate placement, trying to help find the most appropriate placement. There are just such a range of things for our kids who have so many different issues. And I've had cases with CASAs who just go above and beyond. And the one story I tell them most often, because it's had articles written about them, so court confidentiality is not the issue, was a little boy named Dodger who had been severely physically abused. And when he came into the court system, he was in the hospital, and it wasn't clear if he was going to be able to walk again. And the second CASA who got on the case went to all of the meetings with the doctors, was involved in all of that. She was the person who found out about a gait trainer and assisted walking device that he could be eligible for, how to get it for him, got it for him. Once a potential adoptive parent was identified in Illinois, she was the one who made sure to get that potential foster mom on the phone for all the medical appointments to be able to listen in. And when we finalized that adoption, we did it by FaceTime before Zoom, and Lynn Gabriel was here in Chambers, and his name is no longer Dodger, but at that time his name was still Dodger. On the FaceTime, their whole house in Illinois had Dodger banners up because it was Dodger Day in Illinois. A few years after the case was closed, I ran into the CASA in the cafeteria, and she showed me a photograph of Dodger with leg braces on, walking a Tommy Hilfiger runway in New York. And then a few years after that, I was visiting with this CASA. She passed away of cancer. I was visiting her house, and we FaceTimed with him, and he was getting ready to go to Florida for a sled hockey tournament. He sat in a sled, played hockey. Because he had limited upper arm mobility, they attached the hockey stick to the glove. He had 2 autographed jerseys from members of the U.S. Paralympic ice hockey team. And here's a kid who, because of that one person, that one CASA, really understands that he has the opportunity to do whatever he wants in his life, and made such a difference. So that's a really big CASA case, but there are little things and little differences that are made every day as well. So I think that answered your question and went further. So the reason we have CASAs is because the judges, especially in LA County, it's a national program, but in LA County have way too high of caseloads, which we've been opening more courtrooms, and it is getting down. But judges in other counties have about 350, maybe 500 kids each. I used to say in 2006 in LA, we weren't approaching 400 kids each, we were approaching 1,400 kids each, but I recently found some more statistics, and in 2003, we were actually approaching 1,700 kids each. So while we've got the numbers down to about 900 to 1,000 kids each, that's still, twice what we should have. The social workers have too high of caseloads. The children's attorneys can have too high of caseloads. So the CASA is that one person who just has this child or this sibling group to be looking into the needs of and making recommendations to the court. So that's why it's so crucial to have you involved in the system. So I want to thank you again for the commitment you've made. So with that said, the CASA staff are going to, look, I made Maureen cry. The CASA staff are going to turn off their cameras, and the graduates are going to keep their cameras on. And we're going to do a couple of oaths and swearing in. And I try to separate it enough so you can track me. But if you do open your chat, it is in the chat. So I'm going to have the CASAs who are graduating, even though it's going to be a free-for-all. I'm going to ask all the CASAs who are graduating to unmute. And I'm going to ask, so at some point I'm going to say, I state your name, and you're going to state your name. And I'm going to say, do hereby swear or affirm, and you can decide whether you want to hereby swear or hereby affirm. It is your choice. So please raise your right hand. Oops, wait, hold on. What am I doing? Wait, I'll be right back. I figure I might as well do the robe and make it really feel nice and official. You know, the last time we had a CASA swearing in person was almost 3 years ago. And at the time, I would bring my robe down and do the swearing in. And then we would stand one at a time and take photographs together. And I remember the very last class was the one where we were doing the elbows. Okay, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Claire Thomas,
Do hereby swear or affirm
do hereby affirm
that I will truly and faithfully
that I will truly and faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of court-appointed special advocate
of court-appointed special advocate
on all cases to which I am appointed.
on all cases to which I am appointed.
That I will do so according to the law. That I will do so according to law
That I will do so according to law
and the policies of CASA of Los Angeles,
and the policies of Los Angeles,
and that I will always act
and that I will always act
in the best interests
in the best interest
of the child or children
of the child or children
for whom I am appointed.
for whom I am appointed.
Mazel tov. Now I'm not going to have you mute yet. Woohoo! Okay. Let me find my second one. As court-appointed volunteers, you will have access to dependency court legal files and proceedings. As you know, these files and dependency court proceedings are confidential. You are charged with the responsibility of upholding the confidentiality of these cases. You are not to discuss these cases, nor reveal the identity of these children with any persons other than those individuals who are rightly involved in the case. This would include those court personnel, social workers, family members of the child, not of you, attorneys or other professionals assigned to the case. So I'm going to have you raise your right hand again and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear
to uphold the confidentiality
to uphold the confidentiality
of the information contained in the legal files
of the information contained in the legal files
and all other case information
and all other case information
that comes to my attention
that comes to my attention
during the course of my work
during the course of my work
as a court-appointed special advocate.
as a court-appointed special advocate.
Mazel tov again. Congratulations. There are going to be lots of little things from your faculty in the chat congratulating you. I'm going to have you mute again. So this is the point in the class where I would call your name, I'd have you come up, I'd hand you your little certificate, we'd take a photo together in person. If you had family members there, we'd take a photo with your family members. But needless to say, that's not going to happen today, but we still are going to try and individualize this. So I'm going to call your name, and when I call your name, someone's going to pinpoint you on the screen. I'm going to call your name and ask you, one, if you have any friends or family watching. Two, if you how you found out. Either you can answer one of two things, either how you found out about CASA or what it is you do for a living. You will find it's very helpful to know what your classmates do for a living. Some of them have special education knowledge. Some of them have contacts in various industries, healthcare knowledge, etc. So here we go. Of course, the CASA board member, Jennifer, the one who was willing to ask a question, Jennifer Hinman.
Okay. So I'll answer the question since I'm retired. I'll answer the question about how I found out about CASA. I used to work with a group of people who were CASAs and also on the board. And also I found out because personally, my brother adopted his son out of the foster care system and worked with the CASA at that point. So.
And that's great. And is he or anyone else watching?
No, I'm just me today. So.
Okay. Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
service and commitment to CASA as a board member as well. Jennifer Highland.
Hello.
I can hear you. So how did you find out about CASA? Anyone watching?
Yeah, yes, my mom Diane and my husband Mike are watching.
And where's your mom, local or distant?
She's in Minnesota.
See, this is what I love about being able to do Zoom. Those golden gophers. We love the golden gophers. Either how did you find out about CASA or what do you do for a living?
For a living, I'm a researcher, a qualitative researcher. And I found out about CASA probably close to 20 years ago. I was working in domestic violence intervention, DVIP, and I learned about CASA and started this training in Illinois, but then moved to California and picked it up 20 years later.
That is great. You know, it's interesting. People are going to ask you, "Oh my gosh, you're dealing with foster kids," and they immediately picture a lot of physical abuse, and most of our cases are about drug and alcohol use by parents. A lot of them involve domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and those are the real things that we're trying to get people to turn their lives around. It's really, those are the things we focus on. So to have a domestic violence background is great. The other thing is CASA brings a lot of times people into my court to observe, and one of the people they brought last year was the center for the Los Angeles Chargers football team and his wife, because they were CASAs in Minnesota and have now moved here, and they did a matching grant, I think, or donations to both CASA of LA and CASA of Orange County. So all those Minnesota connections. Thank you very much, Jessica Romero.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, my name is Jessica Romero. So I found out about CASA through my friend Darren. She's actually a CASA volunteer, and so she was telling me about how fulfilling it is, and I actually, so she had told me about it, but actually, so I was like inspired to like research into it. But what actually caused me to take action was I was listening to a crime podcast, and they talked unfortunately about some cases about foster children and how they ended up getting deceased because of some gaps in the system. So those things really inspired me to just come and try to help with what I can. And people that is watching is my boyfriend and Darren, I think, and my sister are watching.
Hi there, everyone. We have about 1,000 CASAs, which means we can have about 1,500 kids, depending on siblings and things. With CASAs, we have 30,000 kids in the system in LA. Just think, if every kid had a CASA, it would be one more safety net for the things you were seeing on the podcast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay. They tell me that usually he's on time, even though he was the last one to get here today. I said, don't call him. He shouldn't graduate if he doesn't get here. But Mark Afrasiabi.
Yeah, hi. Thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate this is really interesting and exciting for us to join the family here. So yeah, I found out about CASA. I'm in the investment management world as my career. I used to be a lawyer a long time ago. I only practiced for a few years. And I guess I'm married with two kids and a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old. And one of my son's friends' father is a CASA. So, he told me about it. And I've been looking to do something something to volunteer time and, sort of pro bono efforts to do something. And this seemed really exciting and interesting and rewarding, I hope. And so, that's the basic story with me.
Great. What's your friend who's the CASA's name?
Kenny Rosenblatt.
We have to at least acknowledge people. And do you have anyone watching today?
No, just me. No.
Just so people know, your spouse can do CASA, but you can also do it together with your spouse. You do it with your best friend. We have best friends and CASA and spouse and couples who have done the CASA together and get the same children or siblings to work with together. And I'm very sorry that you have a 14-year-old. I apologize. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sonia Wright.
Hello, thank you so much. I potentially have my parents watching. I sent them the link, so if they figured it out, hi in Virginia. I work in television production. I'm a producer, so a lot of live events, and which actually gave me some freedom recently to have a little bit more control over my life, and thus I felt like I had time to commit to CASA, which I'm really excited about.
Great, thank you. And hi to folks in Virginia. And have you produced anything that you want everyone else to be watching?
I mean, all of it, I guess, but nothing that I'm going to promote right here, right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maureen Driscoll.
Hi. I don't have anyone watching because my mother is 99 and explaining how to do this is like a bridge too far. I found out about CASA because I ended up filling oranges at the LA Regional Food Bank with one of your board members. And she really talked it up and it was 4 hours. So I was like, all right, I can do this. And I am a writer and an actor. And I'm going to be doing essential history because I can't commit to doing things like being in court. So,
you know what, the Essential History Project is crucial for anyone watching who's not one of the CASA class people. It's someone who does a deep dive into a foster kid's file and really gets the history organized for them so they can have the history of their life and know exactly what happened. And so often kids come back, adults come back and say, I don't know what happened on my life. I don't know things about my relatives, etc. And it's just such a wonderful opportunity. So do not underplay the essential history. And thank you very much. Is there anything you're in acting in we should be watching?
well, I just booked my first television role. So if you watch 911 Lone Star, I might show up.
Okay.
I will show up.
And you can always, with your 99-year-old mom, show her this on YouTube. There will be a link. My mom passed away in October, and my 94-year-old dad, who's very with it, will never use technology. So she used to print out the emails to give to him. And now my sister from Portland prints out emails on their home printer to give to him. Okay, next up, Tracy Harada.
Hi. My name's Tracy. I'm an ER nurse, and I think I have some of my family watching on YouTube right now. And I first heard about CASA when I was in college, which was over a decade ago now, just through like some volunteer work. But I didn't have the freedom in my career to like be able to pick up an extracurricular. But now I feel like I've got the time and so the bandwidth to be able to do it. So I'm excited.
That is wonderful. And everyone just heard that, right? Here's the person you can ask some medical questions of when you got that kid who has them. Where'd you go to college?
I went to UC Irvine, but I went to LA County College of Allied Health and Nursing for nursing school.
Great. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miranda Merrill.
Hi, I'm Miranda Merrill. I'm in sales, not the most relevant of all occupations as pertaining to here. I heard about CASA a few years ago, actually. I attended the informational session, but like a lot of people here, didn't have the time then. And now I do. So I'm really excited to get started.
Don't downplay sales. If anyone has a foster kid who's going to be doing job interviews, you can talk to them about what to do in a job interview.
True.
Sarah Siegel.
Hi, I was recommended to be a CASA by my therapist who had another client who became a CASA and really enjoyed it. And then I came to figure out that actually one of my friends' moms in Dallas also is just becoming a CASA. So I know some other people doing it. And I think my mom is watching right now.
And where's your mom in Dallas or here or somewhere else?
In Dallas.
All these transplants, it's wonderful. You found LA. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Julia Chang.
Hello. So I found out about CASA because after graduating college this past year, I really wanted to give back to my community since I'm from New Jersey and knew I was going to be living in Los Angeles for a while. And I love working with kids. I used to be a preschool teacher in college, and I was just kind of looking up different organizations and stumbled upon CASA and thought it was a really cool opportunity and just like nothing like I've ever seen before. So then, yeah, I applied, but I work as an ophthalmic scribe and technician, and I think I have some family watching.
Hi, family. Where'd you go to college?
UCLA.
UCLA. And now, was it childcare on campus or was it private childcare?
It was through UCLA childcare, but like off campus.
It's a great opportunity. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Carissa Chimarelli.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Carissa Cimarelli. And no, you pronounced it more like the Italian way, so kudos to you. I'm a registered veterinary technician, so my background is veterinary medicine, and I learned about CASA actually through Instagram and kind of just one of those like long night like wormholes. And then I got to the website and I just thought it was a really cool idea and opportunity to do some volunteering with some training. And so far, it's been a really amazing experience. I love the CASA team. I'm so impressed by everybody, how highly educated they are. And I think this is going to be a really good experience for me. And I don't have any family watching right now.
The CASA training really is awesome. And sometimes I'll go to a class for an hour, but I get there when they're finishing one exercise, and whether it's analyzing a foster child case for risk or whether it's talking about your own values. I've actually now stolen their values exercise that I now use for new judges and dependency statewide. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Claire Thomas.
Good afternoon, everybody. My wife is watching from another computer elsewhere in the house. I'm a retired anesthesiologist. The reason why I got involved in this is because I've always had an urge to help kids, especially as they neared aging out of foster care, because I always thought how inept I would have been at 18 to be put out onto my own. And then in researching this, working with foster care kids, I found CASA and thought that this would be the best way for me to be able to help. And I found it very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. Thank you. Hi to the wife. In terms of kids aging out, you're going to go online, you're going to see all these statistics about the percentage that are homeless or dead within or in jail within 2 years of aging out. And one thing is I'm really waiting to see what the statistics start coming back for California now that they can stay in the system till they're 21 in their own apartment with the funding. And there's really a push from the judges, juvenile court judges statewide, to actually get it extended beyond 21 even. So working on some legislation to see about extending it to beyond 21 for specific situations, whether it's kids in college, kids who have become homeless during that period, et cetera. So I hope they are able to link you with some older teens. Thank you. Mia Jang.
Hello, my name is Mia. I hope you can hear me and not my grunting dog in the background. Her allergies are really bad today, so I apologize if you hear her grunting. Um, I was a business manager for many years, and since COVID, have gotten out of that, and I decided to go back to school to pursue MFT license. And so I'm currently in the process of applying to grad schools. And wish me luck. My applications are all done and in. I don't have anyone with me today, but when my daughter gets home from school, I will make her watch the YouTube.
Which grad school is your first choice?
Well, the Cal State's for financial reasons, and it's looking like Cal State Northridge, but we'll see. You know, anywhere that takes me, I'd be happy to attend.
I think going to a prestigious institution like Cal State Northridge could be very valuable.
Did you graduate from Northridge?
I did.
Oh, okay.
But you know, instead of being an MFT, you could always just become a master's in social work, and you could, I don't know if you know about the CalSWIC program, but you commit that if it's 2-year program or a 3-year program, however many years the program is, you get a free master's in social work education. You just have to commit to that number of years working at DCFS or another agency once you graduate.
Yeah, they have a similar program for MFTs too, but we'll see. You know, maybe if I don't get in, I'll switch up the gears a little bit.
I'm happy to have you. I'm happy to have you in the system as a CASA.
Yeah, so I had actually been selected as a juror on a court case. It was about a year and a half ago, and it was actually a criminal case against, and the crimes were perpetuated against 2 youths. And it just really sort of piqued my interest and, you know, made me think, you know, that I wish there was something more that I could do for these kids. And then I was actually talking to, so one of my professors is, you know, has been acting as sort of a mentor to me. And when I was applying or starting my application process, she mentioned CASA. And so I, you know, went to the website and looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I would like to do. So yeah, so I'm very happy to be now part of the organization and excited to, you know, do some hard work. I know it's hard, but, you know, I feel like it will be very emotionally fulfilling. So thank everyone on all the, you know, CASA staff and our instructors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, if we were in person, it would just be the handshake and the photo. And I actually enjoy doing this where each of you gets a chance to really, for us all to see who you are, especially since you have 2 classes here as well. Thank you. Congratulations. Bernice Lopez.
Hi. Hi to everybody. Congrats to everybody. We made it. I'm retired. I was a teacher for about, I guess, 35 years. And so I was in the public school and the private school. Started with private, then went to public. And wow, that was an eye-opener. But I enjoyed every grade that I taught. I found out about CASA through Facebook. They had, you know, big ad there, and I go, oh, this looks interesting because I love to volunteer. So I clicked on it and kept clicking, and here I am. I clicked all the way. So I'm looking forward to the next phase. I'm retired and have time. I do sub work. I do sub because I love education. I love being with kids of all ages. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of my knowledge with these kids and helping them too.
For public school, what school district?
LA County.
Right, LA County, not LA Unified.
No, I actually worked with the kids coming out of the camps. Wow. I was at charter school in South Central.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, they are the ones that came from the camp. So it was very interesting. You had the homeless kids, and so it's very interesting that some of the parents would just let their kids live outside. I couldn't understand that, but
that's wow. Thank you for that commitment.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Hansen.
Thank you, Judge. I found out about CASA when I was doing research for my children's book about 15 years ago. And I have 3 children, so I didn't really have time at that time to volunteer. And I do have my daughter from New York watching. And I'm just very grateful for this opportunity to help these kids in foster care.
That's great. I'm looking at everything behind you. Are you Native American or not?
I am. I haven't got my DNA checked, but I do Lakota sweat lodge ceremonies once a month. It's a very healing practice. And I know some people in the Native community.
And the reason I asked that, it's actually work related, because when children are members or are eligible for membership in a tribe, then we have one courtroom that deals with all those cases, because the tribes have a right to get involved, intervene, even take over the case. So it's worth mentioning to your CASA supervisor or the person assigning cases your specific interest in that, because it might be great to get you a kid from Department 421 or ICWA Court.
Oh, that is wonderful. I really believe the songs have medicine, and I would be so grateful for that. I'm also a cranial psychotherapist, which is an energy worker. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. And I specialize in treating children and adults that have experienced child sexual abuse. My book that I wrote is called Those Are My Private Parts, and it helps parents talk to their kids about sexual abuse and opening up that conversation. 95% of abuse happens from people that children know. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful to be graduating as a CASA.
Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing of yourself. Kelly Arana.
So I first learned about CASA through my best friend's professor, who actually mentioned it to her class. And she decided to mention it to me since she knows I'm trying to pursue a master's in social work right now. So she thought this would be a great learning opportunity for me. And I currently work for Volunteers for America. I help monitor a safe house for human trafficking victims and at-risk youth. Yeah, and my best friend's watching right now.
This is an incredible group. The vast experience and background is just amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, what you do is great. Karen Micah.
Hi, I have a lot of family watching, 4 from Michigan. I have 1 from Delaware, 1 from Arizona, a friend from Arizona, Mexico, and St. Louis. So a lot of people shine down.
And there is CASA everywhere. For all of you in Michigan, Virginia, Maryland, everywhere, there is a CASA program in your community. Keep going.
I became aware of CASA. A good friend of mine was a CASA in Orange County, and we both met at Disney. We both worked at Disney. She was a VP of finance, dropped out or retired, and decided to go get her master's in children care. And she ended up being in CASA, and she exposed me to all the wonderful things that happened. So I've recently retired from production. My background in finance and production, and I wanted to go down this path to help foster kids.
That is great. Thank you so much. Before I go to the last one, in a bit, I think, are going to hear from Charity Chandler Cole, the executive director of CASA, and she is awesome. And don't miss the fireside chat she's been doing. Incredible series of discussions on issues that all of us need to be talking about. The previous CASA executive director, one of the things she did that impacted CASA was she made it that every CASA actually went through every CASA staff member actually goes through the CASA training. She actually went through the CASA training herself and had a CASA kid. And it's been an incredible way to impact the office of everyone really having hands-on understanding of what the office does. So the last graduate is a CASA staff member, Rita Renee Muhammad.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Judge. My name is Rita Renee Najla Muhammad, and I am, my position is Advocate Supervisor. How I came to know about CASA, I am a former cultural broker, and I worked closely with DCFS in the Lancaster area. And sitting on a CFT, there was also present, I was a cultural broker, there was also present a CASA, And we were able to collaborate together and affect a real positive outcome for the youth that we were both involved with. So that was my introduction to the program. One thing that I have a passion about is Black families, and I'm an effective Black parenting instructor. And that's my current volunteer work. And so I'm looking forward to the process of processing the whole CASA experience.
I've heard wonderful things about the effective Black parenting program that I think still is only available in Lancaster, and I'm hoping that it ends up countywide because the parents' attorneys actually are saying really great things about it. Wow, you have a great background, the cultural broker background, having worked with a CASA. We've had a CASA of the Year in LA who was a Lancaster CASA, so there you go. Thank you very much. Welcome to CASA. I appreciate your deciding that this is where you wanted to move your energy into in terms of the system. I do want to thank all of you for your commitment. The one thing I do want to just put out there is during the pandemic, a lot of people are going online, finding something to do, locked down. So just getting involved in the thing they find. CASA has always been one of those things that ends up being a long-term commitment. And we have CASAs who have been doing it for 20, 25, 30 years. And I really encourage you to consider this to be a long-term commitment. The National CASA have a wonderful book of writings by former foster kids who had CASAs. And when you read each of these essays, the one thing they have in common is my judge changed. That won't happen with me. My judge changed, my social worker changed, my attorney changed, and the one person who was a constant in my life was the CASA. There's a judge in Portland who, to this day, her CASA from when she was a foster child is still a major part of her life. So you have the ability to really make this into something that has an ongoing impact. And I want to thank all of you and thank your families and friends who are giving up of you to do this. So thank you all and congratulations. I'll see you in court.
Thank you so much, Judge Zeiler, for taking the time out of your day to swear everyone in, and welcome everyone to this role. We really appreciate it. And then to echo Judge Zeidler, shout out to everybody watching on the YouTube. Thank you for being here to support your loved ones, but stay online because now we're going to hear from some departments within CASA of Los Angeles. The first person we're going to hear from is our Chief Executive Officer, Charity Chandler-Cole.
Thank you. Thank you. And hello, everyone. Congratulations to our new CASAs. This is such an amazing place to be, an amazing place to call home. Like yourself, I'm also a CASA now and have a child that I'm advocating for, and it is the most fulfilling thing in my life right now outside of being a mother. At CASA LA, our CASA volunteers are literally the backbone of our organization, and we really can't do the work we do without you. The work our CASAs do goes beyond advocating on their behalf in court and in schools and other settings. You have the ability to provide experiences that affirm their worth and value in this world. You have the ability to empower them to be the best versions of themselves, despite what the world, statistics, and others have told and shown them they are capable of. Your role as a consistent advocate and even friend in their life is so important. And I am so grateful that you have decided to embark on this new and very rewarding chapter of your life. I do want to encourage you all through this experience to always seek out new knowledge and information and to understand the cultural context and histories of the youth you interact with. I ask that you be intentional about knowing and learning about their backgrounds, the communities they come from, the historical, racial, and societal barriers, burdens, and circumstances they and their families may have endured that brought them to this moment in time, so that you can make healthy and sound decisions and recommendations and build relationships that are not rooted in bias or made based off of personal judgments and assumptions, well-intentioned or not, but are birthed out of equity, deep love, and care, and with the goal of making them whole. Thank you so much again for stepping up to the plate to advocate and show up for our children. Congratulations for completing your training. I know it wasn't easy, and I look forward to working with you all.
Thanks so much, Charity. Next, we're going to hear from Angela Daughtry, our Recruitment and Outreach Manager.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations. You guys did it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to hear about all of your stories and all of your families that are watching. I took notes because I want to make sure I touch bases on how people really heard about CASA. And I love that everyone is using different technologies and the Instagram and Facebook and best friends recommending. Get that best friend to come and join us too. And become a CASA volunteer, because I think it's very important that we use word of mouth to spread the word about CASA. Once we plant that seed, it may take us a couple of months to become a CASA volunteer, or it may take a couple of years, but long as you don't forget about how important CASA work is and come back and see us. Also, I want to say that I think it's amazing that Mark's son's father is a CASA and here in LA and talked about it and planted a seed, and Mark is graduating today. So welcome, congratulations to each of you. Look out for the buzz. We have different groups in recruitment and outreach, and we like to hear your ways of getting more people to come and join the team of CASA. Welcome to our family. We're glad to have you here today, and congratulations for graduating. Have a good day.
Thanks so much, Angela. And next we are going to hear from Kim Stauffer, our individual giving manager.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at CASA. What you do is so great. And on the development team, it helps us do our job, hearing all the stories of the impact that's made in these children's lives. So I wanted to introduce the development team. We work on fundraising, grants, marketing, events. I wanted to share one of our largest fundraisers that's coming up. It's our 11th annual gala, and it's on Thursday, April 20th at the Beverly Hilton. And so what we ask our volunteers, our community, our friends, anybody that comes into our world is, would you know somebody? Do you know somebody that by chance would want to be a sponsor for the events, purchase tickets, maybe donate an auction item if somebody works for a place that might want to donate a gift card or a product or an experience? Volunteer, come out and join us in that way and enjoy the event and get to learn more about the organization as well. And then just share the message. Our biggest thing, as Angela said, to join, those mailing lists, our buzz. We have several newsletters that we send out, and we encourage everybody to follow us on social media and check our website often. Some of the other ways that you can help in the development world, and we love when our volunteers get involved. We are part of the LA Big 5K. That's on March 18th. If you're a runner, you can sign up for us. We cover the registration charge, and then we ask you as an online fundraiser to ask your friends and family to support you and raise up to $350. And I have all that information. We have a monthly giving program. We have matching gift opportunities if your employer does something like that with your volunteer hours or a gift that you may make, and just any kind of community connections. We're always here to listen to what you guys have. Your most important role is becoming what you're doing now is the CASA role, but if you want to expand that and do something else, we're always here and open to talking as well. So I'll put my email in there in the chat box. I'll put the website to the gala, and then you'll get an email from us as well. So thank you all again.
Thanks, Kim. And next we are going to hear from our Chief Volunteer Officer, Lynn Gabriel.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations. Kim, I don't know, are we still home state, still doing the thing with home state? So part of your obligation as a CASA is to buy tacos. I don't know if they talked about that in training, but we do have a third-party partnership with home state that we get $1. Do we get $1 from every taco?
Yes, we do.
So you actually have to buy a lot of tacos. But they have been very good to us, and I know their food is fantastic. So just as part of your obligation, I'm just saying you should go eat some tacos from home state.
Yes, plenty of third-party partnerships. If you know anybody that wants to do that too, we also have Nothing Bundt Cakes. It's coming up in March, and they're going to be donating back to us as well. So, I mean, you got to eat a good cake to give back. Perfect opportunity.
And who doesn't love a bundt cake? Come on. Yeah, tacos and bundt cakes. I mean, you didn't realize how fun this was going to be. There's no way you could have known. As you said, I'm Lynn Gabriel. I have been working at CASA since 2011, and I was a CASA volunteer for 10 years before coming on staff. And I have also been a foster parent, and I'm an adopted parent. So I'm kind of all in with this, and I am happy to talk with any of you, get feedback about training, answer your questions. I will just tell you, this is the hardest, best thing you'll ever do. And I want to make sure that we manage your expectations and maybe reframe them, because a lot of people, when they're talking about working with youth, especially in the foster care system, they talk about, wanting to go, I'm going to make sure my kid gets into a good college and they're going to go to the best university. And I want to reframe your ideas of success, because while all that is great if that's what they want, but I tell the story of one of the kids that I worked with, who he was 14 when I started working with him. So as an aside, when you fill out that profile, what your interests are, what age child you might want to work with, if you have a preference. So when I went through training, I said, I want to work with an elementary school age girl. And they said, okay, great. Here's a 14-year-old boy. And I said, okay, I guess this is what is supposed to happen. And I'm so thankful that it did. He's kind of an emo kid. He didn't really talk much and was not, he was, let's just say, not enthused about this then 40-year-old white woman showing up to ask him how school is. You always default to that. You think you're not going to, and then you see the kid and you're like, how's school? And they all say the same thing every time, pretty much. It's fine. And that's the way he and I kind of were. But this is where just showing up matters, because I just kept showing up and he didn't have to say much to me. He would put up with my ridiculous questions and never called me. I would always go and see him. I took him to dinner and, try to get conversation going. And he exited the system when he was 18. And I didn't hear from him for a couple of years. And then he called me out of the blue. He couldn't remember my number to save his life when he was in care. But 2 years later, he just called me and just said, hey. I said, hey. And it was at that moment that I knew this kid knows he has somebody that he can call just to say, hey, and that I'll pick it up and that I care about him. And to me, that's success. I don't care what school you go to or how much money you make or what you drive. He knew that I cared about him. And he actually passed away a year later. And he left this world knowing that somebody really cared about him. And I know that he cared about me. So that's success. And even if a kid never opens up to you and, tells you their hopes and dreams, they know you show up. They know that when you keep showing up. So when times get tough and in the good times, know that you are making a difference just by showing up. I'm always here if you need to talk or ask questions or give me feedback, and I will put my email in the chat. Congratulations, everyone.
Thanks so much, Lynn. And then next, we're going to hear from our Director of Advocacy, Dr. Christiane Brooks.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Christy, you're muted.
Okay. Here I am. Hello, everyone, and congratulations on becoming a CASA. And welcome to the CASA program. My name is Dr. Christiane Brooks. I am the Director of Advocacy, as Kayla stated. And once you get your case, you're going to be working very closely with myself and with your team, with your advocate supervisor, just really taking time to get to know your youth. And your advocate supervisors are going to be taking time to really get to know you. What your strengths are, what you might need from your advocate supervisor. You have a tough job, and we want to make sure that we are there to support you. It's a very rewarding job, being able to work very closely with the youth, being able to work with their day-to-day. But there are things and extra support that you might need, whether it's becoming an advocate for sports or education, or healthcare or whatever the case may be. Our job is to make sure after our training team has done a wonderful job in educating you on how to be the best CASA, we want to make sure that we're there to provide you with all the tools that you need to continue that advocacy work. And we want to provide you with all of that as often as you need it and as much as you may need it. We do have some of our advocate supervisors here today that are going to be here to support you, that are going to be here to, they're going to tell you about what your next steps are going to be. They're going to tell you about what your case is going to look like. They're going to tell you about how to get in contact with them. You'll always have contact with me. You'll always be able to get in contact with their managers. We have so much support and so much to surround you with that we want to make sure that you're successful. So we do have Rita Renee Muhammad here, who was also in class with some of you, and some of you will be having her as an advocate supervisor. I know she comes to us with tons of experience and tons of education in the area. You'll be lucky to have her, and you will definitely enjoy your time with her. Some of you are going to have John Tay. John Tay comes with us again with tons of experience in education in the field of social work. We have Kadria. Kadria will be here. Able, she's been a therapist, social worker, tons of education and experience. Lucky to have her. Caroline as well, our regional center expert, comes with tons of experience. So much support here for you guys in any area that you need. Joseph, Regina, Stephanie, all here with tons of experience, been with us for years, able to come in with and just share with you every bit of knowledge that they've learned over the years through being a social worker, through being a therapist, through working in the field, through working in the field in other states and places and counties and countries. We have a team that is here to support you in any way that you may need. So again, I want to make sure that I welcome all of you to CASA. Know that my door is always open, or in this case, it'll probably be my phone or my email, but it's always open for you to call and ask any questions that you may have, any extra support that you may need. We are always going to be here for you. So welcome again, and thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Christy. And then finally, I want to introduce you all to a new member of the CASA team, Oti Mosley-Bremond, the new Director of Recruitment and Outreach. Oti, did you just want to say like a quick hello and introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. Congratulations. I'm so excited to be a part of your journey. This is my first CASA graduation, so thank you for letting me be here with y'all. I'm excited to see y'all throughout this journey and what comes on the other side and your growth. And I'll be starting my CASA journey as well on the 28th of this month. So I'm excited to see what you all have been going through. And so I'm so excited to see y'all here. And thank you again for committing yourself to our community.
Thanks, Oti. All right. Well, congratulations to everyone. I'm extremely proud of you. I know it's been a long journey from when you first completed your application to being here today. Throughout class, you all learned a lot from me, but as always, I learned so much from you as well, just because of the wealth of skills and knowledge that you all already bring to this role. So thank you for taking some of your time to choose to be an advocate for youth and opening your minds to learning new things. From here on out, I will be putting you into the care of your advocate supervisor. But lastly, I do want to offer Emily a chance to say congratulations to her class as well. And then she'll also go over what the next steps are for wrapping up graduation.
Hi, everyone. So I want to say congrats to we had a small but mighty training group this time round. I really want to thank you all for your time and dedication to the application and the training process and your commitment to a young person for the next 2 years and possibly, hopefully, beyond if you would like to take on another case after that. So yeah, as you know, this commitment and consistency is essential for this volunteer role, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how you're getting on. So do keep in touch, and hopefully I'll see you at one of our volunteer events. We have one coming up soon. Keep a lookout for the information on that. And I always really want to encourage you to stay connected with your cohort. Obviously you have your wonderful supervisor for support, but having this support network with the people that you've been through the training with, it's going to be really beneficial for you, particularly in the early stages. There's going to be lots of doubts and lots of support and maybe encouragement needed. So yeah, stay connected, and you'll get to know other CASAs along the way as well. But yeah, keep in touch. All right, well, welcome to the CASA family, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you soon. And that's the end of our graduation. So I just also want to say thank you to those family and friends that have been watching on YouTube, and join us if you